In the fall of 2021, the firm's Veterans Affinity Group hosted a program to educate our attorneys and staff about the plight of Afghan refugees, especially the hurdles they face navigating the U.S. immigration system without a lawyer. Soon after, attorneys started reaching out to the pro bono team to see how they could help. We turned to Human Rights First, a longtime pro bono collaborator and one of the nonprofits taking the lead in helping Afghan refugees.
Partnership with MoFo in terms of providing legal screenings to Afghans who were just recently arriving, hadn't quite gotten resettled into their communities, weren't yet certain of what their needs were going to be. And the response was really pretty overwhelming, to be honest with you. I think we had over 150 attorneys and other staff at MoFo participate in this effort. We screened hundreds of Afghans in need of legal representation, and the project just kind of kept building on itself after that.
Like many of us, I remember vividly watching the scenes unfold at Kabul airport as Afghan citizens fought for inches of space, for an opportunity to flee their homeland with their lives hanging in the balance. And so what motivated me was, as an American citizen and a citizen of the world, to have an opportunity to make a small difference and an impact in the lives of people who had suffered through decades of war and persecution, and this was a perfect opportunity to do that.
Through Human Rights First, we were introduced to a young man who fled Afghanistan during the Taliban's chaotic takeover of the country in August of 2021. The young man and his older brother had served alongside U.S. troops, accompanying them into unsafe areas, interfacing with locals, gathering intelligence as to who'd been seen in the region recently, and coordinating U.S. troops' efforts with the Afghan military. Knowing the grisly fate that he would suffer at the hands of the Taliban, the U.S. troops he worked with helped him obtain a special immigrant visa, or SIV. Although the two oldest brothers had lawful permanent residence in the U.S. as a result of their service to U.S. troops, the mother, sisters, younger brother, and cousin did not, and were in the U.S. on a parole of limited duration. We expanded our engagement to apply for asylum for the mother, the three siblings, and the cousin. We won asylum for two of them and await decisions on the others. I learned everything I needed for these asylum cases through resources the firm makes available to all of us. It really helped that I got to know the family and their incredible story. While accompanying them for their asylum interviews in Houston, I shared meals with the family, prayed with the family, and witnessed a humility and gratitude that would bring anyone to tears.
Hearing people speak one of the Afghan languages, Dari, made me realize that it was quite similar to Farsi, which is my first language. It made me realize that I could do more in-depth work with these clients, so I got involved in a full-scale asylum case representing a large family based in Texas. The nature of the support we provide is such that we interview clients about their personal life experiences in order to put together a compelling asylum application. Through that process, we learn about our clients on a very personal level. They share their fears, challenges, memories, hopes, and everything in between, something that isn't typical with most of our other non-pro bono clients.
My motivation for doing pro bono work came from my own experiences being on the other side of this advocacy process. I grew up seeing how much of a difference counsel can make when navigating the legal process, and it was very important for me to be a guiding voice for those who may not be able to speak for themselves. I grew up in a family with domestic violence, and my mother was not able to afford private legal representation during her divorce. Through referrals and nonprofits, we were able to obtain low bono services, and attending court with my mom, I was able to see firsthand how having counsel there was able to alleviate some of the fear, the apprehension, and the stress of being in such a high-stakes environment.
What I would tell my partners is that we can make a big impact even with a small investment of time, and use our positions as leaders in the profession to make a real difference. So I urge you to ask the hard questions. What are my values? What do I care about in the world? What means something to me? And when you get one of those emails, say yes.
It is an honor and a privilege to be able to tangibly change the lives of my pro bono clients for the better with every minute and every day of work that I put in. It may be just a day's work for me, but it has a lifetime of effect, and that's something that I do not take lightly.
When I listened to Jack London's pro bono speech as an aspiring corporate finance summer associate in 1995, I figured I'd be the last person who the firm would ever ask to speak about pro bono. But this case has changed me. I look in the mirror and I see an aging lawyer whose kids have grown up and whose best friends are either retiring or openly talking about retiring. And I wonder what good my career has done. But my sense of faith and purpose have broadened, and I now fully understand the great Muhammad Ali's quote, "The service you do for others is the rent you pay for your room here on earth."